this tutorial, I want to talk about the use of melodic sequences when you're soloing over chord changes. In the intro, I was playing a solo over the chord changes from the first 8 bars of I Got Rhythm. Now, apart from the blues, the changes to I Got Rhythm have been used as the basis for more bebop tunes than any other single composition. And therefore, it's a chord progression that, as a jazz player, you really need to become very familiar with. So let's talk about what we mean by melodic sequences. In his 5th symphony, Beethoven started with an iconic 4-note motive. It couldn't be simpler, but that motive is then repeated as a melodic sequence right throughout the movement, creating a structure and a unity throughout the piece. So the first few bars then plays the motive going down. I'm sure you're familiar with how it continues after that. Mozart used a melodic sequence in his 40th symphony. And so on. So melodic sequences have been used extensively by composers in all styles of music, and they are equally effective when soloing over chord changes. So quite simply, a melodic sequence is a repetition of a phrase at a different pitch. Sometimes the rhythm of the sequence and even the musical intervals in that sequence might vary a little bit, but basically they maintain the same shape. So let's have a look at what I played in the intro and how I used some melodic sequences and also other ideas that I've talked about in previous videos in this series. So in the first couple of bars, I started with a little descending scale passage. Now there were a couple of chromatic passing notes there. And notice that I didn't actually start on beat 1, I started on the upbeat after beat 1. The ending was a classic bebop cliche. Whenever you end a bebop phrase like that, the articulation is really important. And the best way to get that is to listen to lots and lots of bebop players. Always remember to accent that last note, and also don't leave it down. Don't finish. Make sure it's. Now in the next bar, I played the first little melodic sequence. The chords there are D minor 7, G minor 7. I simply played the notes of a D minor triad, 3-note chord. Chromatic passing note taking me to G, and then exactly the same little motive there going up the notes of a G minor triad, chromatic passing note taking me to another bebop cliche. So in that bar the chords are C minor 7, F7, and I'm circling around the target note of A, which is the third of F minor 7. So I'm approaching it from the note above, the note below, chromatic passing note taking me up to the A. Now in the next bar, I start off with an ascending arpeggio. So the chord there is F minor 7. I'm starting the arpeggio from the 3rd and going up to the 9th. And that arpeggio is used ever such a lot in jazz. On the B flat 7, I'm circling around the target note of D, but I don't actually reach the D until the next bar, where the chord is E flat. So the D now becomes actually the 7th, major 7th of E flat. In this bar, I do a very simple melodic sequence. It's just 3 notes going up a scale, back to the first note, Once again, 3 notes going up a scale. I could have made it an exact sequence by coming back down, but instead I went up to B flat, taking me to C, the 7th of D minor 7. And then on the G7, I started another very simple melodic sequence. Just crotchet followed by 2 quavers, going down to B flat, the 7th of C minor 7. Now, I could have made it another exact sequence by going down to the F, but instead I just tweaked it a little bit. And once again, come off that last note. So this is another idea that you can experiment with when you're practicing soloing. Hope you found it useful. If you did and you haven't subscribed so far, I'd be really glad if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.